My name is Rob Dauster. The gentleman you see donning the cow hat once again is the one and only Jeffrey Goodman. What's going on, man? How are you?
If I had a Fordham Rams hat, I would wear it right now. I would definitely wear it. I mean, listen, the Jeff Neubauer era has ended. And can I give you a little story on I don't know if you remember 2 years ago, I fired Jeff Neubauer prematurely. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm. I
You
do.
do? You remember?
Mm-hmm.
I fired him. I was on a flight. Somebody sent me a text, somebody who was very close to the situation, and said, Neubauer out. And I'm on a flight flying somewhere for game or whatever. So I thought that to mean Jeff Neubauer was fired. What else would it mean? So, and it was expected that he was going to be fired at the end of the year. So I tweeted out, Jeff Neubauer fired, according to sources. And then they texted me back right after that, out of the A10 tournament. And I'm like, oh, shit. So I quickly deleted it. I think it was up there for like 28 seconds is what I counted. I deleted it. But by that point, people have notifications on.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to apologize to the Fordham AD, Dave Roach at the time, who's now out, and Jeff Neubauer. But again, Jeff Neubauer, good run while it lasted. We'll always have the photo. We'll always have the photo of Jeff Neubauer.
That's not the only funny thing about Jeff Neubauer, but I don't want to talk. I don't think we should talk about the other thing.
I can turn back the clock on Jeff Neubauer.
The man got fired today. We don't need to bring up bad memories at this point.
That's right. Exactly.
All right, so let's talk about last night's basketball slate. Oklahoma went into Austin, knocked off Texas.
Yeah.
Alabama beat Kentucky, officially became a basketball school. Auburn.
Listen, they've been a basketball school since this year. Since I ranked them in the preseason, and they have lived up to the standards of the Jeff Goodman preseason top 50.
Since Nate Oates went on the Goodman and Humble podcast, they've been a basketball school. Auburn, I don't know if you saw how the Auburn game played out, but it was pretty funny. They got up by like 15 in the first half. Then Sharif Cooper picks up his third foul, goes out. Missouri goes on like I don't know, it was some huge run, and they ended up taking like an 8-point lead in the second half. Sharif Cooper comes back in, and like Auburn runs away with it. Like they are such a different basketball team with him. It's unbelievable.
No, I feel bad that he's not going to be in the NCAA tournament, because I think he's one of those, like, if you're compiling a list of must-watch players, is Sharif Cooper like number one for you, even over Cade, in terms of excitement level? Like Ken Pom thrill, what does he call it? The thrill level?
The thrill score.
Like, we should do that. We're going to do a Dauster Goodman thrill score of players.
Oh God,
we're doing that. We're doing it.
Okay, I like it. I like it. Shout out to Ken Pomeroy.
Maybe it's on the next stadium show. Maybe that's our deal. On the next stadium show next week.
Oh my God. Oh, for anybody that's watching this right now, you have to turn into College Hoops insiders, because I asked Jeff a question for our buzzer beater segment that completely got him flustered. He had no idea what was going on.
I still don't know what it means.
Completely melted his brain.
Go ahead, tell people what this dumb.
No, you got to tune in. You got to tune in to watch it. Because it completely melted his brain. All right. So what for you was the biggest story of yesterday?
I think the biggest story for me yesterday was Tobacco Road, both North Carolina and Duke getting much needed wins, right? Like I get, hey, great win for Oklahoma. You go into Austin and you beat, but ultimately, let's face it, like Texas was without their coach, Courtney Ramey. It was still a good win.
No Jericho Sims, down 2 starters and Shaka Smart's flow, and there's nothing.
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, I mean, different deal. So I would say, Alabama beating Kentucky, ho-hum at this point. Like, we expect it. I mean, honestly, we didn't expect it to be that close. So to me, it's Duke winning a game that you had no confidence that the Blue Devils would win against Georgia Tech. They covered all.
No, I thought that they would win. Oh, God, what an awful beat that was. What an awful beat. I'm still mad about that.
It was bad. It was rough. So Duke winning that game, which was a must-win to some degree for Duke and their NCAA tournament chances. You can't be losing 4 straight. You can't be losing to Georgia Tech at home. And then Carolina going on the road and getting a Pittsburgh team that, again, came off a loss against Wake, but has shown its potential. I think it's setting itself up for both of them being in the NCAA tournament and being low seeds and setting up for pretty good matchups in the NCAA tournament. If Duke is like an 8-9, like how about that, Rob? What if Duke's like an 8-9 and you got to throw them against like Gonzaga?
Well, they wouldn't have a chance.
but it would be
they get right out of the gym against Gonzaga.
But it would be fun to see them against. Fan would love that.
Imagine if, let's say that Iowa ends up being a 1 seed. Imagine Duke Iowa in the second round. That's a game where Duke might be able to win, because the one thing Duke can do is like they can put up points.
Yeah.
They can score. Matthew Hurt can get buckets. Jalen Johnson can get buckets. Like they're not going to get any stops. Luka Garza might literally have 100 points in that game, but that's one thing they can do is score.
Hey, they held Georgia Tech to 68 points. That's actually huge.
That's not bad. Jose Alvarado was so good.
I love him.
I love that dude.
Yep.
I did a big story on him last year because he had a daughter that was born in, let me think, I think it was December of last season. And so like he was just on a complete high, like playing basketball, hanging out with his daughter and his I think it was his fiance or his girlfriend at the time.
Yeah.
And like he was so into it being a dad. That was honestly like that was one of the most like rewarding stories I've ever written. It was very Norlander-esque, but I talked to like 6 different guys that had babies during the college basketball season and what it was like being a dad. And they like that was the first time I've ever like actually connected with a college kid beyond just like, hey, tell me about basketball. Oh, what do you do? You hanging out? Like Xavier Tillman was like, the best part of my day is when I come home and I get to wash the bottles. And I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you?
Wow. Who likes washing the bottles?
But he basically said like he's like, I'm out of the house all day. I got practice. Yeah. I got school. I got study hall. I got classes. I got film sessions. I got all this stuff to do. He's like, I come home and like I feel like I can actually contribute to being like an adult in the house. I'm like, yeah, well, you are way more mature than I am. But good for you. Good for you. So for just one thing on North Carolina, they've won 6 out of 7 now. The guards are playing a little bit better. Like Caleb Love's not having a great season yet, but I do think that he's kind of turned this thing around. They moved Kerwin Walton into the starting lineup, and like that dude making shots really just kind of opens up space for everybody. I think Roy's figured this thing out. Now the tests are really coming up. I think they're at Clemson, then they're at Duke, and then like next week they have, I think they go on a run where it's like Virginia Tech at Virginia, then Louisville. So like we're going to find out if this thing is real. But Roy's got them playing much, much, much better right now.
I'm not sure if we're going to find out if anybody's real in the ACC this year, because it's just not that good a league. Virginia's going to run away with it again, maybe, which is crazy to me because I don't know how good they are, but like they have Tony Bennett.
I've come around on Virginia because they're making shots like. At some point, we just kind of have to accept that, like, when you're
is a shooter, he is a shooter. Period. Like that's what he is. Jay Huff can shoot the ball. Like he's a 5th-year senior. Yeah. Listen, I'm not saying like Virginia is some powerhouse like they've been, but like, yeah, they're good enough. My whole feeling on Virginia, and you know why I haven't had them ranked, is just because they didn't beat anybody, and they still. To this day, Rob?
Wait, you still don't have Virginia ranked?
No, I have them at 15 right now. But what I'm saying is early on, I didn't have them ranked when like other people like Parrish had them at like 18 for the last like 6 weeks. I didn't have them ranked because they lost to USF and they legitimately hadn't, and they got run out of the building against Gonzaga. I know it's coming off a pause, but they haven't beaten anybody at that point. Nobody.
You know what's crazy? Virginia, by the end of the season, might end up being Gonzaga's best win during the regular season. It could end up getting to the point where Virginia is Gonzaga's best win. Think about that. Think about it.
Yeah. No, I mean, listen, it just shows you like beating teams at certain times is so, especially this year, more than ever this year, because again, you're beating teams like yesterday, Oklahoma. Like that win could end up getting Oklahoma into the NCAA tournament at the end of the day. I think they'll be in no matter what. I think they'll be reason. But let's say Oklahoma goes through a rough stretch. That win against Texas, how much, and I talked to David Warlock about this yesterday in a pod that people should really watch, because there was a lot of good information there from Dave Gavitt and David Warlock from the NCAA. But one of the things I asked him was, like, how are you going to judge teams coming back from pauses, playing their first game, teams playing without guys? And there's no easy answer to it, Rob. That's the thing. It's up to each committee member to decide how they want to approach that. And are you giving Oklahoma the same level of win for beating a Texas team without two starters and their head coach? Or are you just throwing everything out and just saying, like, listen, it's a year like Stanford. I talked to Jared Haas. I'm going to write something about them tomorrow. They haven't been in there. They've been in a hotel since the start of the season. They have not played. They're finally going to play in Maples Pavilion in a few weeks for the first time on Super Bowl Sunday. But they have stayed in a hotel all year. So if they're in the bubble, Rob, like, don't you, if you're a committee member, don't you give them the benefit of the doubt? And if they're in the bubble with 6 other teams, aren't you saying to yourself, like, yeah, I'm going to give it to Stanford. They've had shit against them all year.
I don't
know.
It's such a slippery slope if you do that, though, because every team is going through it right now. Like, what team is not dealing with a bunch of shit like that?
Yeah. Well,
I know for a fact that you're not the only team that's living in a hotel.
What other high major is?
Isn't what Duke's been living out of a hotel, haven't they?
All year.
At least they were earlier this season.
I don't think so.
There's teams. Villanova, when they went through their 3-month quarantine, was stuck in a hotel room. So, like, look, everybody is going through it, but
they haven't been in their dorm room all year, is what I'm saying. They've
it's been especially rough on Stanford because of what their county's regulations are. But it's not like it's not necessarily unique, right? Yes, okay. There are some schools in some states that where the government of those states and those elected officials may believe that the pandemic is a hoax, right? Okay, so maybe those guys are having a little bit of an easier time. They're able to get into practice and do this, that, and the third. But I think Stanford is not the only team that's like just been going through it. Everybody is. So it's
Agreed.
like, yeah, on the one hand, I understand what you're saying, but on the other hand, like, you can go through a list of like 50 different schools that have all of this stuff going on, and I don't think that you can. I think you have to take everything at face value. I don't think that you can say, okay, we're going to throw this team a bone because they had a particularly difficult situation. Everyone in America is going through it.
Yeah, I mean, some, again, at different levels is, I guess, what I'm saying. So are you just saying, I don't care who you're missing on what day this year, injuries, COVID, whatever, I don't care. We're not going to look at any of that. Do you do that?
No, I mean, I think you do it like you would any other season, right? Like, there's going to be games where you lose
so much. There's so much to look at then. If you're going to do it that way, the committee is not going to be. I mean, I guess you have a list.
I just think that you can't go into this just saying, okay, we're going to look at this specifically, we're going to look at that specifically. You just have to take everything as you get it, right? Like, there's going to be games where you say, okay, yes, Texas lost at home against Oklahoma. Should we knock them that much because Shaka Smart wasn't there and they were down 2 starters? So, like, those are the things that you have to pay attention to. I don't think that, there are games during the season where, like, you have your star guard sprains an ankle and he's out for a week, and you go 0-2 in those games. And yes, the committee will take those into account, but it's not like a complete deal breaker, right? Like, everybody's got weird things that happen during the season. Yep. So I don't think that you should necessarily take all of that into account because everybody's going through it. Everybody's going through it.
So let's get to tonight's slate here. Let's get to this slate.
Yes. Okay. There's a couple games that I actually really, really like, and it's the short little it's the short dogs. And the first one that I want to discuss, because the line doesn't really make any sense to me, is your Louisville Cardinals at Clemson getting 1.5. Please tell me why.
That was the first one I circled, Rob. That was the first one I circled. I don't understand it. Clemson has been awful since coming back from the pause.
Oh wow, the
Absolutely.
line. The line's moving. Line's moving. You better jump on it. I'm about to go put it on
Is it
BetSpurt
moved
right
already?
now. Yeah,
Seriously?
yeah. It's down to a point. I'm putting it in BetSpurts right now. Everybody, follow me and follow Jeff on BetSpurts. Hopefully, I'm turning it around today, Jeff. I've made the decision. Look, I got rid of the headphones, guys. No
You
headphones
need to do
today.
something.
No hat today. I'm trying to change up the mojo. I need a good day. Just one time.
You
Yesterday was going
needed
to
to
be
do
such a good
something,
day.
Robert.
Like between the Drake melt and Georgia Tech not covering, like I can't get a break, man. I'm losing my mind over here.
All right. So
Anyway,
I'm with you. I like Louisville here. It's at Little John, but ultimately, I just think Louisville's the more talented team. You know, you're picking up players on these two teams. Your top two are clearly coming from Louisville. Clemson's got a little bit more depth. But it's not like Clemson's got great size, and that's always what worries me when Louisville goes up against a team that has a long, athletic big. That usually scares me without Malik Williams, but Clemson doesn't have that, and I just think their mojo is kind of gone here. So I'm with you. I think Louisville needs this one. You're getting a point. I like it.
all right. The other small dog that I like is Seton Hall at home against Creighton. I think that Mamu is going to be the best player on the floor. I think that Seton Hall has the athleticism to be able to match up with Creighton's perimeter players. And I think that the Pirates and Kevin Willard are going to be a little bit embarrassed about the fact that they quite literally lost by 873 points the last time that these two teams played.
They did. I don't love this one. You know my infatuation with the Creighton Blue Jays. So I very rarely go against them.
I'm gonna take a screenshot of the box score of the last game and send it to Kevin Willard and be like, "Hey, remember when this happened?" maybe that'll get that little fucker fired.
I guarantee you, he will come out with a sarcastic text back to you. The world needs Kevin Willard on Twitter because he is so sarcastic. It would be a riot, or at least is there a fake Kevin Willard Twitter out there?
No, but like so this maybe we're breaking news on this. But he said that he deleted his Twitter account, right? Like he told everyone he deleted his Twitter. He had to get off of it. And then during the preseason, Fanta asked him a question, and he was like, "Fanta, I see your tweets." And Fanta was like, "Oh, does that mean you started your Twitter account again?" and Willard like stopped for a second. Fanta was like, "You don't need to answer that." I love Fanta.
Willard with a burner Twitter account.
Oh man!
You wonder how many coaches have a burn. I should do an off-season deal. How many coaches have a Twitter burner account? I bet you a ton do. A ton.
Yeah, I mean you have to. Why wouldn't you?
Are you doing it just to weigh in and defend yourself? Is that why you're using it?
No, I think you're doing it because you follow all of your players. Right. And just see what they're tweeting about, or maybe hop into DMs to see what's going on. You do it to follow the media member. Like if I was him, I would follow certain media members just to try to keep a pulse of what teams are saying, to be able to let's just say that I tweet something like, "Oh, Mamu has been playing like shit recently." Then Willard can find that, take a screenshot of it and be like, "Look, these guys don't respect you. They think you suck." You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of what I would use it for, you know?
All right, so
Grant Plunkett said Jerry Stackhouse 100% has a burner Twitter. Yeah, but here's the thing: that dude 100% blocks people from his burner Twitter because he gets mad.
Like, how thin-skinned do you have to be to block people? Like every media person who's ever said anything negative about you. Like to me, I don't know. I feel like the only reason I'm usually blocking or muting people, I don't really block anybody. Rarely. I did in the past. I don't think I blocked anybody this whole season.
I've blocked a lot of people this year, but most of them were for reasons that didn't involve basketball.
Yeah. Here's what I'll do.
If you jump in my mentions and you say something about how like the election was a fraud and like someone stole the election, like auto block. Get the fuck out. For me, I don't need that stress in my life. Bad enough as it is.
My family, then I'll probably block you. Then I'll probably block you.
I've blocked a couple people for you for that, by the way.
Yeah.
All right. Let's keep it moving.
Yep.
I love the Seton Hall money line. I love the Louisville money line. The other one I like is Goodman. Are we getting back on that Missouri State bandwagon? Are you hopping back on that bandwagon with me? Missouri State was up 15 at halftime last night.
What's the line? What's the line today?
It's 4 again. I'm getting back on that Missouri State bandwagon.
You are.
Yeah, perfect. It's our theory. It's our theory. It's our strategy. You can't fade our strategy. You got to get on that with me. Let's go. Come on.
I'm on it. Louisville. I'm with you in Louisville. I'm with you on Mo State. And the other one I like. What do you think I like? If you had to pick out something here, who do I fade over?
I think that you're going to bet on Wofford tonight, this afternoon at Citadel.
Well,
laying 8.5. I'm going to do it. You want to know why I'm going to do it? Because I just checked my mentions on Twitter, and somebody said Storm Murphy and Wofford, let's go, boys. And so as soon as I got that tweet that said Storm Murphy and Wofford, let's go, boys. Boom, auto bet.
Listen, to me, I love Wofford, but that's not the one. The one for me is South Carolina is playing at home today.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And they're only giving 5 points. Do you know what that team is, Robert?
Georgia.
The Georgia Bulldogs, baby.
Georgia Bulldogs.
My boy on Twitter, Fletcher. Have you seen Fletcher on Twitter? Have you not seen this guy? Seriously? He's so funny. Fletcher Proctor. Hold on, I gotta find it. Fletcher Proctor.
Well, while you look that up, I will just say I also like Maryland at home against Wisconsin.
Ooh, boy.
Getting 3 points.
Maryland's so hard, man. Like, I don't know. Yeah, Fletcher Proctor. He's awesome. He might be my favorite fan follow. He's a big Georgia fan, and just hilarious. So you got to follow Fletcher.
Yeah, I like Maryland at home against Wisconsin. I just think like the Terps, the way that they can space out the floor with all of their they're kind of like Florida State light in the sense that they have like 17 guys that are all basically the same size and can create problems because a lot of those big guys can play it on the perimeter. And as we know, Wisconsin has basically starts 2 centers. So I do kind of like Maryland in that spot. The Fighting Scott Van Pelt's at home at the Xfinity Center. And there was one other one I'm blanking on who I wanted to bring up.
I got a couple more.
How do you feel about it?
NC State against Wake. NC State's given 7 against Wake at home. You don't
staying away.
Really
staying away. I
think this is
one of those. I don't think NC State's very good.
They're not great, but Wake's not good either. And it's at home. I don't know. I feel like this is one that they're gonna need.
I feel like that's one where that's one where I bet on it and Wake Forest goes up and wins by 15. So I'm saying all the way.
Well, you have to. You hate Marquette. Providence is only given 1.5 at home, and Providence has arguably find me 5 better all around guards in the country than David Duke. Can you? All around.
Yeah, better all around guards than David Duke.
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
Who? Come on.
Well, Cade Cunningham for 1. There's 1.
Okay.
Give me Jalen Suggs for 2. Number 2. Okay. Right. Yep. Give me Ayo Dosunmu at number 3.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to take Jared Butler over David Duke.
Okay. There's 4.
That's 4. So I need to find one more.
Find me one more. One
more. All right. Are you really going to make me do this? Like, there's.
I am.
All right. Hold on.
I don't think you can do it.
I'm just blanking on I need a list of give me Carlik Jones over him.
No, you're out of your mind.
I was about to say David Johnson, but no, not David Johnson.
You're out of your mind.
Here's the problem. My mind doesn't operate where I can just think of things on the spot. So I'm just going through the top 20.
Well, here's what you're forgetting. You're forgetting that David Duke is a top 10 defender in college basketball. He's a top 10 defender, and he's shooting the hell out of it this year. He gets people involved.
All right, here's number 5. Give me James Bouknight.
Yeah, not overall. I'd take David Duke over.
Give me James Bouknight over him.
All around. That's all. So I'm taking Providence.
Give me Kihei Clark. Give me Dukes McBride over him.
Being stupid. Now you're
Mac McClung, baby.
Oh, just go away. Go away.
The return of the Mac.
I'm going to end this.
The return of the Mac.
Prematurely.
Give me Christian Lander.
You're a moron. An absolute moron. What else you like? Anything else?
Oh man. Scotty Barnes. Yeah, Grant. Grant's got it. Grant's on it. Scotty Barnes. Give me Scotty Barnes.
No, come on. Can't shoot. Can't even shoot yet. Like
Give
Scotty
me
Barnes is
give me
better.
Jaden Springer. Jaden Springer is basically LeBron James. I want you to understand this. Like Jaden Springer is basically LeBron James. No, I'm making jokes, but yes, you're right. David Duke's awesome.
Awesome.
I'm gonna clip out a video of you from the other day where you just say I love David Duke, and I'm gonna post that onto Twitter.
Come on, don't do that.
But actually, like, can I just want to say something about that. I love what his mindset is, where he's like, why would I change my name? That's my name. I'm gonna make everybody like he's like. I want everybody to think about David Duke, and as soon as they hear that name, to think of the basketball player. And I fucking love that.
He's the best kid in the world too. Like honestly, like love him like the best. So yeah, at some point that's actually a good story to do. Talk to him about that. I know he's talked about it before, but
yeah, he has, but
not with me.
I love that. I love that mindset. All right, so you're on Providence laying 1.5.
I absolutely am. So so far I got Louisville, Mo State, South Carolina, Providence. I kind of need one mid-major just to round this thing out.
Mo State, baby.
Who?
Mo State.
All right, yeah, I got that. So I got 4. I need 5. I don't like going even numbers.
How about Boise? How about Boise State at visiting the Fighting Nico Medveds?
Yeah, I kind of like that. I'm going there. Yeah, I'm going Boise. Giving 2.5.
Do you think I'm going to be accused of stealing from Gary Parrish again now that I just called them the Fighting Nico Medveds?
Who did that? And have they ever come back to this?
Hold on. Grant just said, do we have to fade Fordham today?
It's tough, Grant. Here's
I think it's a new coach bounds, baby. I kind of like, if anything, I want to bet on Fordham in this spot.
Yeah, I always worry about this. The first one back, remember what happened with Northern Illinois and Lamar Chapman. Do not forget they fired Mark Montgomery, and what happened, Rob?
Northern Illinois almost won. It was like your best bet of the year.
Yes. So I almost retired after that bet. If they had just covered what was it, like 17, and I took the money line. Yeah, it was like 950. It was honestly like 950 to
I think they lost by 1 in that game. So I kind of, what? I'm going to bet Fordham here.
Are you going to fade Jerry Stackhouse?
I don't know.
Or do you think he comes out? Do you think he's motivated now and working?
I want to know what his relationship is like with the players on the team, because I don't know enough about their relationship. Because if they're like actually close and like he's got a really good relationship with them, then there's a very good chance that this is like fuck the media, fuck everybody else. I'm going to come out here and we're going to but it's also like if they hate him and nobody on the roster likes him, then it's also the kind of thing where like the bottom could fall out of it and Florida could win by 100. So I don't know enough about the way that those guys all get along. Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm betting on the Florida money line.
You are
small. I'm gonna go half a unit on it on BetSperts, but look, you got to live dangerously, right? Got to try to make this happen. Grant, ride with me, buddy. Come on, let's go.
Half a unit for Rob is like $250.
What Darren? I hope I pronounced that right. Darren.
Yeah. Hey, I was just looking about that. Is it Duran or Darren? How can you tell us? I don't want to screw up your name, man.
It's tough because like Duran, like you say Duran Williams, but then it's like Darren Erstead, right? So because if it was one R, I would say it's definitely Duran, but the 2 R's would really throw me off. But yeah, what happened to fading Towson? That's your call, Jeffrey. That's a major.
They played James Madison today. Matt Lewis, terrific player for James Madison. They beat him by 9, I believe, last time they played. It's an afternoon tip too. 4:00. You got to get on the afternoon tip action.
Yeah,
I'm on it. I'm on. Matt Lewis is a all-league player.
Grant said I'd bet on Arizona State with Goodman before I take Fordham with Dauster. Ouch.
Yes, very, very
holy smokes.
Very, very true.
All right, yeah. So I'm fading Towson. I'm with you. Darren / Duran.
Darren like Heron.
Darren like that didn't help.
Heron. Mustafa Heron. What was it again? What was Mustafa Heron? Heron, right? Wasn't it Mustafa Heron?
Yep.
Right? All right.
I'm in with the Towson fade. Shout out to Pat Scary.
Yeah, that's not nice. That is not nice at all.
Can I tell you? Can I tell my Pat Scary story here? It's really good. It's really funny. I don't. Oof. Yeah, I think I could tell it here.
Yeah, go ahead. Are you going to get Pat in trouble?
No, I wouldn't get him in trouble. It's just it's kind of gross. I don't know. I'll tell you off the air, and then we'll back tomorrow and see if I can tell it on the air. I don't. Here, I'll tell you tomorrow. Anyway, so roll through what you got, Jeffrey.
I only got 5. I'll I'll add more on BetSports before the tips today. But Louisville, Missouri State, South Carolina, Providence, Boise State, and then thank you to Darren. I'm going with James Madison as well.
Yeah, all right. So I have James Madison. I got half a unit on the Fordham money line because YOLO. I got Wofford. I have Missouri State. I took the Creighton money line. I took the Louisville money line, and then I'm going to follow you on Boise and Providence. Like we're going to turn this thing around today, Jeffrey.
We have to. Yesterday was a bad day.
I'm turning this thing around. Like luck has got to be on my side today. It's got to be.
No headphones,
bad beats, no headphones, no hat.
You are totally changing it up today.
And I got the new coffee mug today too. I haven't used this coffee mug yet.
What is that? Looks like your kid painted it.
Yeah, I have no idea, but it was in the cupboard. It was in the back a little bit, so I was like, you know what? I got to mix it up. I haven't used this coffee mug yet.
Right, you're right. I turned off my notifications. I did. I turned them off. I knew Rob was very ornery this morning. He's had a bad stretch, so I'm like, if I keep dinging on this thing, eventually he's going to get really pissed off, and he does most of the work on this network. So we got to keep Rob sane, keep him happy. So we need a good day today.
Sane's gone out the window, but I would appreciate happy.
Happy would be good. All right, there you have it. Make sure you again follow us both on BetSports. We'll put in our picks, as you guys know, every single day. And what else? We missed Auburn team total yesterday. I don't remember that one, Darren. I don't remember.
Yeah, well, I was on Auburn. But yeah, the Auburn team totals are like Auburn team totals are an easy bet too. All right, guys, we'll see you guys again tomorrow. And if Jeff says it's okay, I'll tell